All right, so welcome to another rapid fire business story of the week. This is part of our rapid fire series, and today we have an incredible guest with us, someone who's achieved extraordinary success and is here to share their unique business journey with you. We're excited to hear their insights, so let's welcome them to the show. All right, so as this is our rapid fire series, we've got 1 minute or less to answer each question. So in a minute or less, give us the elevator pitch to your story and your life. Go.
Well, for me, it was the milestone of turning 40 that had me taking a step back and reevaluating my life. In the asking particular questions, I realized that although my life looked perfect on the outside, I had checked off all the things that family, society, culture, and religion told me I needed to have a happy life. So, fulfilling career, beautiful, healthy family, our own home, cars in the driveway, vacations a year, lots of beautiful material things. I still felt unhappy and unfulfilled and felt like something was missing. This basically started me on a path of healing and self-discovery that eventually led me to be doing the work that I do today and led me to my mission, which is to help make the world a happier place by sharing the steps that we can take to live our happiest lives.
So that's fascinating, and I would love to dig a little bit deeper. So tell us a bit more about what you're working on today that you're most passionate about and believe will have the biggest impact.
Well, that's a very loaded question because I am involved in many different things. To answer your question, I believe it's my PhD. So my PhD has a dissertation on inner happiness where I am hoping to prove that spiritual people are happier than agnostic people. Aside from my PhD that I think will make a huge impact I'm the host and co-host of 4 different shows around happiness. I'm an international writer, so share happiness content through editorials around the world. I'm the editor of a magazine. I am also a certified life coach, so I have coaching programs. I'm a motivational speaker, multiple time TEDx speaker. So trying to reach as many people as possible, as I said, to try to share the steps that we can take to live our happiest lives.
So this next question is one that every entrepreneur has dealt with. Tell us about a time where you failed. We often say failure is the first step to success. So think about a time where you failed in the past. What happened? What did you learn from it?
I don't feel like I've had one major thing that has failed, but I think that it's been a process of learning of what is the most effective way to go about finding clients and booking the speaking engagements, trying to meet people and network, trying to get your message out. And so it's been trial and error. I don't think there has been one major fault that I've had, because I would probably say I'm a very astute person in the sense that if I notice that some things aren't really working, I'm constantly reflecting and or taking feedback so that I can better my approach without it having to reach like a low point or a rock bottom.
That's fascinating. And we're definitely going to have you back on the show to dive deeper into each of these questions. But for now, one thing that I often say is, and I tell this to my employees and the people who work with me and for me all the time, is that when a tree falls in the forest, if nobody hears it, did that tree actually fall? This brings me to this next question. How do you make sure that all of these amazing projects that you're involved in get noticed? What marketing and advertising methods have worked best for you? You've got a minute. Let's go.
I think what's been most successful is connecting with people, and that relationships is always about the relationships. And so I feel like I've built some really good relationships in the past, and relationships with people who have a large network of people who they're connected to. And so I feel like people have connected me to other people that have led me to other things that I've been doing in my business. And so it's like all the pieces of the puzzle have come together, and I don't know initially how they're going to come together. I'm also just a yes girl. So when opportunities present themselves, I'm always just saying yes. So I think the most effective of all of the different methods has definitely been like networking through connections.
That was so awesome. We're definitely going to dive deeper into this on a later show. And as we approach our last question, before we ask people how people can get a hold of you, how people can reach you, learn more about the work that you're doing in your company, and we will include all that information in the show notes, what I wanted to ask you is, what is one piece of advice that you would offer to your younger self, to our audience, and to somebody, especially somebody who's just starting out in the same niche that you're in, but just doesn't know how to start or get going? Amazing stuff. We're going to have to thank our guest today.
I think that advice would be to not allow the world to dim your shine. That I think we're, as children, brought into the world with many beautiful gifts, and so creative, so inquisitive, so curious. But the world seems to pull us away, not only from our happiness, but from our true selves. That when we get a sense of what the expectations are of the people around us for how we need to show up to be loved, liked, and accepted, I think many aspects of that true, authentic self get dampened or stamped on. And it's important for us to try to be, if I could, be strong, so that I wouldn't have allowed the world to influence me to that degree where I felt like I had lost myself in the living of my life, because I had allowed those external expectations and those voices to be louder than the internal one that I now feel that I'm reconnected with.
Today for being a guest on Business Story of the Week. And before we cut out on this episode, I wanted to ask you, how can people get a hold of you? How can people learn more about what you're doing? And how do people engage with you? And we will transcribe this and put it in the show notes for everybody to find.
Awesome. So you can reach out to me through my website, which is teresagreco.ca, and that's Teresa with no H, and then Greco, Greco.ca. You can reach me on all the social media platforms. You can find me on Instagram at Teresa Greco _steps to happiness, on Facebook, Steps to Happiness with Teresa Greco, or just Teresa Greco. You can find me on YouTube, also at Teresa Greco _steps to happiness, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, at Teresa Greco. I'm all over the place, so you can find me. If you just Google me, you'll find me.
All right, amazing. So you did it. Thank you for being a guest on the show today. Let me tell you what you can expect next. So what we're going to do is we're going to take all this, we're going to cut it into an episode. It will go on the Business Story of the Week page. So make sure you go on Apple Podcasts, review us, like us, go on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to us on Spotify, and this will come out in the next 30 days or so, depending on our workload and how many shows we have. We have had a lot of interest in the show lately, so we may be a little backed up, but the show will get out. In the meanwhile, we will send you clips that feel free to share on social. Also, the full episode, feel free to share any way that you like. The content is yours to share and put out there. We just ask that you mark us and tag us in the notes if you do. So in the copy, put hashtag Business Story of the Week, link back to us. We would appreciate that. And if you think that you might be interested in doing more podcasts, live ones and studio ones, Zoom ones, Riverside ones, there's a whole host of shows that likely, if you did this one and succeeded, you would probably be really great at. and a great way of getting your message out. So your host will talk to you about potentially getting you booked on a strategy call for a Business Story of the Week's sister company, Podcast Cola, or becoming a YouTube influencer through Viral Mirage. Thanks again for being a part of this. Looking forward to working with you.